Before Facebook, before Instagram, before TikTok ruled the world, there was MySpace. It wasn't just a social network, it was the internet. Everyone had a profile, everyone had a top 8, and everyone learned basic HTML trying to customize their page. In 2006, MySpace was worth over $12 billion and was the most visited website in the United States. Yes, even more than Google. But within just a few years, it was gone. This is the story of how the biggest social network in the world, the one that shaped an entire generation, collapsed under its own weight and literally deleted itself. Welcome to Missed Billions Explained, where we uncover the biggest business mistakes, billion-dollar failures, and the lessons left behind. If you love stories of innovation, ego, and missed opportunities, hit subscribe, because this one is all three. It started in 2003 in a small office in Los Angeles. A group of former employees from a company called eUniverse wanted to build something that connected people online, inspired by an early site called Friendster. They called it MySpace. The idea was simple, a place where anyone could create a profile, upload photos, and share music. But what made MySpace explode was freedom. You could change your background color, add your favorite song, write a blog, or code your own layout. It wasn't about rules, it was about you. Within months, it became a digital revolution, chaotic, loud, and endlessly creative. By 2005, MySpace had over 20 million users. It wasn't just a website, it was the first global social identity. By the mid-2000s, MySpace wasn't just leading social media, it was social media. If you were a band, you needed a MySpace page. If you were a teenager, your top 8 friends were a public statement of loyalty and betrayal. And if you were a marketer, MySpace was where your audience lived. It changed pop culture. Musicians like Arctic Monkeys and Lily Allen got discovered there. Every click, every song, every friendship, all lived inside that one chaotic, magical platform. By 2006, MySpace had more than 100 million accounts, was earning hundreds of millions in ad revenue, and had become a cultural force that defined a generation. It felt untouchable. But that's when the suits showed up. In 2005, Rupert Murdoch's media empire, News Corp, bought MySpace for $580 million. At the time, it was seen as a masterstroke, traditional media meeting the future of the internet. Murdoch believed MySpace could become the ultimate entertainment hub, a blend of music, ads, and Hollywood influence. But almost immediately, things changed. The site that once felt personal and creative started to feel, well, commercial. Ads took over the homepage. Pop-ups, banners, and corporate deals drowned out individuality. The code freedom users loved was now clashing with the profit-driven design News Corp demanded. MySpace had been built on chaos and personality, and News Corp tried to turn it into television. While Murdoch was counting ad dollars, a new name quietly began spreading across college campuses: Facebook. At first, MySpace didn't care. Facebook was boring. It had a plain blue and white interface, real names, and no music or glitter graphics. But under that simplicity was genius. Facebook was clean, fast, and most importantly, safe. Parents liked it, advertisers liked it, and users began to realize something MySpace never offered: order. While MySpace drowned in flashing GIFs and spam friend requests, Facebook offered privacy and real networks. It wasn't about showing off, it was about connecting. By 2007, Facebook started growing faster than anyone expected, and for the first time, MySpace was afraid. But fear doesn't equal strategy. Inside MySpace, chaos wasn't just on the website, it was in the company. The founders, Tom Anderson and Chris DeWolf, clashed with News Corp executives who didn't understand internet culture. MySpace's infrastructure was collapsing under its own success. Pages took forever to load. Features broke constantly. Bugs were ignored. Instead of fixing the experience, management focused on monetizing it. The engineers wanted to rebuild the platform from scratch, but that would take time and money. Executives said no. They wanted growth now. So MySpace kept adding features on top of broken code. More ads, more widgets, more clutter. And the more they added, the slower it got. Facebook, meanwhile, was building the exact opposite: fast, clean, and engineered to scale. When MySpace finally realized they needed to rebuild, it was already too late. Facebook wasn't just catching up, it was redefining the category. By 2009, MySpace's decline was impossible to ignore. Users were leaving in waves. Advertisers followed. Facebook had overtaken MySpace in traffic and in reputation. Murdoch called the purchase one of his worst investments ever. The platform that once symbolized creativity was now a digital landfill. By 2011, MySpace was sold for $35 million. That's less than 10% of what News Corp had paid for it, and just a fraction of its once massive valuation. From $12 billion to almost nothing. But the story doesn't end there, because even after the collapse, MySpace managed to destroy its own legacy. In 2019, during a server migration, MySpace accidentally deleted over 12 years of user data. That included music, photos, blogs, nearly 1 billion files. Gone. Forever. The social network that defined the early internet literally deleted itself. So what if MySpace had stayed independent? Without News Corp's obsession with monetization, they might have continued innovating. They already had the foundation to become the world's biggest creative platform. Think about it. They had music, culture, viral content, and the entire youth demographic. If they had focused on experience instead of ads, they could have evolved into something between Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. They had the artists, they had the energy, they just didn't have the patience. When Facebook appeared, they panicked instead of innovating. They copied instead of creating. And in doing so, they erased their own identity. MySpace didn't lose because of Facebook. It lost because it stopped being MySpace. MySpace didn't die overnight. It faded. Every new banner ad, every pop-up, every broken feature pushed users away. They thought they were building a business, but what people loved wasn't the business, it was the freedom. When they took that away, users left. MySpace's fall is the perfect example of how culture and creativity can't be managed like a corporation. You can't buy authenticity, you can't control chaos, and you can't run the internet like a TV network. By the time MySpace realized it, the world had changed. Social media had become clean, data-driven, and optimized. Everything MySpace wasn't. It's the same story we've seen before. Blockbuster ignored streaming. Kodak hid the digital camera. Nokia laughed at the iPhone. Yahoo turned down Google. And MySpace, the king of the internet, was buried by the very order it created chaos against. Every empire that stops listening to its users eventually becomes a museum piece. When MySpace disappeared, it wasn't just a website that died. It was an entire chapter of the early internet, a place where creativity ruled before algorithms did. It was messy, it was weird, it was beautiful. And maybe that's why people still talk about it today. Because for a brief moment, the internet truly belonged to us. Thanks for watching Missed Billions Explained. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and tell us which billion-dollar failure you want us to cover next. Because somewhere out there, another social platform is growing too fast, listening too little, and forgetting what made it special in the first place. And history, as always, is about to repeat itself.